Hey everyone, this is Nick from houseplants. In this video, I'm going to be going through, I pulled out all of my non-Anthurium and I figured I'd do this start of grow season, go through all the little odds and ends I'm growing and I've been picking up and share those with you guys. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, and I've added a few recently, so I figured I'd get it out here on YouTube. That way I have, footage of it. So let's get into it. I woke this one up from his nap. I think I want to start with Monstera. Here is my Marilyn. This one's a little cute one from TC. Got it from a local friend. Not much to say about it yet. New leaf is pretty green, but the other ones have been nice and variegated. I'm hoping for it to have pretty high variegation, but we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, it's hasn't been the slowest grower, thankfully. It grows pretty decently. All around good plant. Here is my other large form Aurea. This one doesn't have a specific name or anything. Its yellow goes down to a very nice cream color. See, it's quite a bit more mature. Starting to get secondary fenestrations on it. Really, really, really great plant. I got this one at the Secret Plant Show in Vancouver last year, and I know there's another one coming up soon, so if you're local, definitely keep an eye out for that. Yeah, what else did I say? I don't know. Great plant. Just crawls along the surface of the pot for me. I'm pretty excited to prop this plant because it looks like a few bands of variegation are running over where the nodes are. So I'm hoping if I cut it, I can express some of the color that's in the stem. I don't know how well it's going to read on camera, but you can see there's quite a bit of yellow in the stem there, which I think isn't overly reflected in the foliage. So I'd like to change that. Next up, I have this Borzigiana mint. This leaf came obviously after I did a very aggressive top cut. This little one's dropping. It's been rooting out this big pot. Definitely pretty rooted. I can see them all along the surface. It's just a very nice mint Monstera. Propped it back because I wasn't the happiest with the amount of variegation. And then of course after I did that, because I was fine with the variegation on this side of the plant, I felt like the side of the plant was a little bit lacking. And then of course the next leaf comes out with a pretty good amount of variegation. So I probably would have just left it and seen if that pattern continued. But good plant. Took some props. One of them is very promising. The other was all green, so sometimes they turn out good, sometimes they don't. Color on this guy's great. Then I have this Kunzo White Monster. This is what's left of the top cut of my plant. I have it rooting in no drainage. I do like to do that for some plants, just while I'm trying to establish a cutting, especially a cutting without too many roots. I find a great way it can be, just leaving it in one of these, especially when it's something like a Monstera. Yeah. I cut this plant because it went fully green, and one nice thing about this plant is when it goes green you can just cut it and the color comes back. So one of my props, is nice all white, the other ones are still shooting leaves. And I'm hoping, because I've heard that enough stress will cause the plant to go white again, that maybe the new leaf that'll grow out of this might be white, even though it's a top cut. But there's no way of knowing, so until it does it. And it hasn't grown since I propped it. Here I have my friend's Mexican Mint Monstera. So I've just been growing this over winter for them so it could stay nice and toasty in the grow tent and root out. Figured I'd show you guys this one because here's the exciting news. I'm going to get to prop it soon because it's doing another leaf, which will allow me to take a really nice 3-leaf top cutting while still leaving this leaf here for the bottom plant to support the new plant that is going to grow. So I'm very, very excited to get to do that soon, hopefully, because then I can buy a piece of this plant from my friend to keep for myself, because I have absolutely fallen in love with the Mexican mint. Definitely my favorite mint that I've gotten to grow yet so far. Just a beautiful large form, such nice fenestrations. And it looks like even the new leaf is going to keep these inner fenestrations, not quite as many as this one. And that's just to be expected since it was, a top cut. There's going to be a little bit of maturity loss. Once you get to the leaves, the plant is forming itself. Very excited. This plant is just so stunning. And it's been a pretty decent grower now that it's under stronger grow lights. I have it about this far away. Like a 40-watt grow bar goes right there across it. And that seems to have made it really pick up the pace. I like about 40 watts LED grow bars above my Monstera. And if I had an Anthurium in a similar height and distance, I'd be doing 10 watts or less. Just to give a comparison, I give the Monstera way, 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 way more light. Next up, I want to talk about some new additions. Here are some, here's the first of 3 Platycerium I got very recently. I've yet to repot them or do anything. I'm just focused on trying to keep them alive, which for me and plants and moss is very challenging. This is Platycerium Madagascariense. Yeah, totally gorgeous. I got these from Chaos Ferns. Great account. I was so excited because I've been looking for the Madagascariense for quite a while, and finally someone had them in stock, and the shop came recommended from my friend. So I was very excited to get to place this order, and it came from Vancouver, so very close by. Turned out great. Absolutely loving it. Got this Platycerium ridleyi dwarf silver. Very cute. I picked these all based off of their shield frond texture. It's not quite mature enough yet, I think, to have it. Here, this third one is another Ridley, and this one's Anna's Little Princess. And this one has some leaves, so very excited. It's pretty much completely new to me, caring for these kind of plants. I learned after I ordered that the Madagascariense is a little bit on the tougher side. I was talking to the seller about my setup and my plans, and they seemed to think it'd be pretty okay. But I should definitely rehab and care for them first in the tent to get a handle on them. So that's what my plan is. Then I'm going to mount them to boards and put them on my wall. But till then, they live in the tent. Oh, I forgot one Monstera. I should have done this one before the platies. Here is my Burlmark's Flame. Got this guy as a butt cut not too long ago. Now, feels like quite a while, but I feel like it hasn't been too long. It's been a pretty good rower for me. I think the trick to this plant is just give it lots and lots of light. It seems to respond really well to good light. It'll even keep nice tight internodes. It's just been crawling along the surface of this pot, shooting some crazy roots in between the nodes. Yeah, all around a really great plant. Definitely one of our favorites. It just lives its best life in ambient. Definitely one I'd highly recommend. In my experience, it's been very hardy. Very hardy, roots pretty well. Nice compact growth. All around, I'm a big fan of it. I haven't tried propping it yet, so I don't really have any experience there, but I imagine it'd be like any other Monstera. Next up, I'm going to do some orchids. First one here is a Dendrobium. I got a lot of care advice for this one after I posted the video where I got them. That was so helpful. Thank you guys. A little bit of update. It's got some good root growth, and there are 2 spikes emerging. 3 spikes emerging from, maybe more than 3 spikes emerging, but definitely 3 spikes emerging from the pond I'm keeping it in. I know this one is one that needs to do a dry cycle to flower. Right now I think my focus is just going to be on foliage, so I'm happy I'm getting more foliage. And I think once I've got a good little plant of foliage, I will dive into trying to figure out how to flower it come next winter. Because I believe it's cool and dry is what it needs to flower, but I might be wrong. So that'll be a next year project. But for now I'm really happy that I'm getting new growth. And here we have the first of 2 bulbophyllum. This is the one where I can't really read its name. It's like Bulbophyllum plumetum? I can't read it. I will Google it again and figure out which the species is. And then I have the Bulbophyllum medusae. And I got both these Bulbophyllum really for their flowers. I tried not to get orchids for their flowers, but both of them had such neat flowers. This one's like white little hairballs, and this one long red pendants. Every once in a while pick up an orchid just because, and these 3 were ones I was really interested in outside of the like little mini Ecuadorian ones I like, but those are easy because I just throw them in my converted Millsbow and the fogger takes care of caring for them. Here I have my variegated plumeria. It's thrown out all of a sudden these 3 new leaves for me. They're the little ones in the center there, and you can see the variegation on them already. It's very cute. It's been a really great plant. It rips through the water, so I'm hoping that means it's rooted. I'm a fan of how the really marbled variegation. I think it's beautiful. I think I've come to realize why it is not kept very frequently as a houseplant. It seems incredibly prone to spider mites. So I've got some of the, the Californicus. I forget the genus. The mite packet on it, and that should hopefully eat up any spider mites, and I'm assuming that's just the downside of keeping it indoors. That seems to be the case for a lot of these like tropical tree plants and palms and stuff. They just really struggle with spider mites. Yeah, I'm keeping it in like 95% humidity, so I can't really go any higher. Yeah, there's webbing on it, and after I wiped it off and put this mite packet, it seems to have resolved its issues. So I'm hoping a few treatments of the mites and the plant will be okay. But the growth rate seems great, and I'm not really seeing all that much damage on the leaf. So all in all, I'm like pretty happy with it. It's so cool having a variegated plumeria. I'd been looking for one of these for quite a while. And then just one day, someone was selling them in Canada. I managed to grab one. Okay, I think next I'm gonna do philodendron. Philodendron is definitely a genus I have quite a few of. First up here, I've got my Patriciae. Definitely like one of my all-time favorite plants. Grows beautifully in ambient for me. It definitely took it a while to acclimate to my care. I believe the person I bought it from was just like flipping a fresh import. So it took it a few years to, recover, get growing, and get back to sizing consistently. I have it in a tiny little pot. You can just see, just where that black is where it's rooted. But definitely like just an outstanding plant. The textures are wonderful. Doing a new leaf for me. I really should get it situated in a bigger pot. And try and get a very large one, but for now I'm happy with it. Here is another one I got pretty recently. This is a philodendron bicolor. I haven't added a philodendron to my collection in a pretty long time, but this is one I wanted for years and years. Really, ever since I saw it on, I'm trying to remember the YouTuber, James Armstrong, a YouTuber who used to post videos, and he had a beautiful philodendron bicolor. So I've just been waiting and waiting, and then I got into Anthurium, so I sort of stopped bringing any new philodendron home. And that's sort of when these things came out from the Ecuadorians. And then just recently my friend offered me this one since it had rotted its roots and they didn't really feel like rehabbing it and then selling it. So it's very nice of them to share it with me. Here we've got a cup of pink princess cuttings. I chopped mine up 2 days ago. It started out marbled, and the last few leaves were alternating marbled and very all green with just a tiny little bit of pink, and that just wasn't what I'm looking for. So chopped it up, and I'm hoping one of the older nodes will shoot more consistently marbled growth. We got my strawberry shake. I sold off my top cut at a recent plant market. Probably not going to keep the strawberry shake anymore. I don't like keeping plants that I'm not giving the care they need. There's only so many times I can cut back a plant because it gets scraggly or etiolated and I'm just not enjoying it anymore before I'm going to pass it on to a new home. I think that's where the strawberry shake's at for me. Anyways, this is my pot of halomycans. I've been working on this for a while, so I've got a ton of growth points in here because I really want like a full hanging basket of this plant. So long time work in progress. Got it in one of these got it in like an orchid cache pot sort of thing with a layer of leca, and then pon above it. It's rooted pretty well. Very excited. Really want just an overflowing basket of it. Okay, next up I've got a similar project I'm working on. This is my variegated heartleaf. Again, one I want a nice full basket of. And I'm hiding a little wick pot setup inside this cache pot and just full, not quite as full as the halomycans, but didn't have as much to work with. I just want a nice little full basket of it on my shelf. It's my ambient plant projects. And my last philodendron. I think this is, now that my mycans is gone, I think this is my oldest philodendron. This is my El Chaco Red, or Rubra juvenilum. I've had this one since back in university. Just one of those plants I just love. Big velvet leaves. I think it's one of them. Definitely has I know people say this gives off Anthurium vibes. I kind of do agree. Really great plant. It crashed back to almost nothing after a repot I did once I got it. Because the plant used to be even bigger than this. I crashed it a couple of years ago, and it's been a slow march back to get to this point. And that was after a bad repot where lost all the roots. The thing stem rotted and I didn't catch it. So I was just able to save the top few nodes. And this is one of the plants that grew from that. First up we have this ping. I don't know what it's called. The leaves have purple little margins, but I think right now it's in its succulent phase. Green or yellow one from the garden center. And then one that's maybe called Emarginata X Wesser, but not sure. I got these pings because I was planning on making a pingdom. However, there's not really anything for them to eat, so they don't really do the best in my care. I don't want to grind up the fish food and rub it on them. Yeah, those are the pings. I for a while I've been thinking about doing like a pingdom, as people like to call it, where you get those rocks and you put the mosses and the pings and the other carnivorous plants all together in that one thing. I don't know if it's something I want to go through the effort and expense of lighting long term, because it would need a pretty powerful grow light, and that's just like a big commitment for a genus that I don't really derive all that much enjoyment from. Got my Solanum oleanum. This plant is a weed. I hacked this thing back maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. Definitely not 2 months, like less than 2 months ago. It was just like a bare stump. It had the root system, but all this has grown in that little bit of time. It's got a nice dark purple color, but really, I don't like how hairy it is. I keep saying I'm going to get rid of it, and I don't. It has moved to an ambient shelf, and it still grows very, very fast. No more aerial roots. Just a very good weed. A weed if you want. If you want some sort of plant to put on your shelf that'll just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Here's the plant for you. Next up, I'm going to do my 3 Hoya. First one here is Thomsonii whiteflower. It's got 2 vines on it because the cat chewed this meristem or whatever you call it on Hoya. I'm not sure. And so it shot this new one. Very cute, fuzzy little Hoya. I quite like how soft they are. Very cute. I don't really know what else there is to say. Nice little plant. I think I'm going to grow it out a little bit more and then maybe prop it, move it to a small little pot, and just have a cute little cascade of it, since it does seem to not mind being a hanging basket. Then here we have my Wilburgrave's China. So this is what I'm hoping is the beginnings of a hanging basket of it. Or not hanging basket, like a full basket of it. I don't think I plan to trellis it. I hope it cascades like other Carnosa varieties, because I do believe it's a Carnosa. Got a peduncle here on the end. I did trim this vine because, again, the cat chewed the tip of it off, so it wasn't growing anymore, and I do want to encourage branching from down below, so I'm starting to get a little bit of that after the cut. All right, this is a really great Hoya. I like the color, and I love the little lavender tone it gets if you sun stress it. I don't have very strong examples of it because it's not under a crazy strong light, but if you have one at home and you want to sun stress it, would highly recommend it because the color is very nice. It's very purple. I feel like that's just like not a very common plant color. Okay, my last Hoya is this Globulosa cowbang. She's got beautiful big leaves. They look a little bit shiny when they're fresh, but they are quite hairy, and the backside's even more hairy than the fronts. You have this beautiful vein structure. I'm going to shine a light behind so you can hopefully see. Okay, gotta hide my face and I gotta shine a light behind so you can hopefully see the vein structure of the plant. It's got this like great geometric texture, very fuzzy. Even the stems are fuzzy. And I think my plan for this one, I'm going to prop it, restart it, and I'm going to put it, I'm thinking, on a round trellis, because I'd love to just have like a little wreath of these big leaves and hopefully get it to flower. Here we have my silver satin, not silver satin, oh my god. Here I have my jade satin syndapsis. This is a bit of a work in progress. I want it to be a nice full hanging basket, but not quite there yet. The cat has been done a number on it. I need to do another round of props. It's another one of my hidden wick pots. I just siliconed the holes, the drainage holes in this pot, so that I could keep it as a wick pot. Yeah, like I was saying, probably going to do another round of wet sticks, start it over again with maybe 7 to 11 little growth points, so I can hopefully have a cute little full plant of this. Until that time, it's probably going to look a little rough. Next, we have my only alocasia. It's this tiny little bambino. I do think it's gone all white on me, unfortunately. This one's just like has a pretty, like, I'm just like generally upset about, so I honestly don't know if I will be upset when it goes. I'll just like really regret having spent money on it. It's like what happened is the seller posted like some TC pre-sale, and it was supposed to be like, you know, the order you buy in is the order you'll get to pick when they come, like when the flasks and stuff come. So, you know, I signed up to buy 2. I was the first to sign up. I got to see the ones that were coming in. There looked like there would be a couple I'd be interested in. And then I paid whatever the plants came, and the seller was like, actually, you don't get to pick, I'm picking for you. And they gave me 2 teeny tiny little white ones. Those of course like died. The seller tried to convince me that they would grow green. It's not really how that works, but no, unfortunately they were just being really, really shady. And this is a seller I had bought lots from before, and there'd been there'd been stuff I'd let go before, but nothing quite like this. And so then when those plants obviously died, they're like many, 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 many months later of bothering them, they gave me like the teeniest, tiniest little piece off of someone else's one. And then meanwhile, this entire time, I saw them having trays of nice bambinos. So clearly what they did is they got a bunch of people together to pay for their TC plant import and then ghosted all the buyers. And from what I've heard from my other friend who's had dealings with them, that is not an uncommon occurrence. So like I was saying, probably won't be upset when this one goes and I can finally put any dealings with that person behind me. Peaches came out and was asking to be pet, so I'm just gonna give her a few pets. Last plant, and I swear this is a plant and not a cat turd. Oops. It's this little Amorphophallus atraviritus. I might have said that wrong. I will insert the right genus and species. And this has been one I've been eyeing. I wasn't really I was aware of the Amorphophallus titanum, obviously, the giant corpse flower. And then Charmaine Unplant Parenthood posted a video and she got one of these. And when I saw the hot pink outlines to the leaves, I was like, wow, that is such a cool plant. That's one I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for. I have it in this little glass dish because it's currently dormant. So I have it sitting in a bin on a heat mat, and that bin has a layer of water, so I can't get it wet. But I'm trying to heat it up so it goes active. I'm going to be very excited to share this one with you guys. So hopefully I can get some foliage on it soon. And with that, Amorphophallus, that was it. Those are all my my non-Anthurium. I mean, I do have a couple outdoors. Not bringing them in because right now the pests are kind of going crazy outdoors, so I don't want to have any cross-contamination. Otherwise, there's still my fiddle-leaf fig, that still lives outside on my patio. I have that big tree fern. It's again now an outdoor plant now that the weather's good. And then of course I have my Millersville cabinet with some other non-Anthurium, some begonias, some philodendrons, but I showed you guys that pretty recently. And nothing's changed in there. So I wanted to, again, thank you guys for watching here to the end. I hope you appreciate some non-Anthurium content. I'm trying to level up my plant care with other genuses, so bear with me while I work on figuring it out and trying to learn some new skills. But thank you guys. Have a really good rest of your day. Bye.